Today is the day that we rebuild one of the most neglected vehicles of all of the vehicles we have in the shop. It is our 15-year-old drift truck my dad and a few of my friends we built about 7 years ago. It's been sitting outside in the rain, the wind. The reason is something's happening in the shop that I haven't showed anyone yet, so we can't really get into it. But the truck is not in good shape, so let's grab the truck, let's bring it in here, let's figure out any issues, and then at the end we're just gonna shred the tires all the way down, maybe go driving around the city and just have a good time. So let's go check this thing out and let's see how, unfortunately, how bad a shape it's in. So I don't want anyone thinking, hey, why do you have it outside? You know, you don't care for it. It hasn't even been outside that long. We've had to put a few things outside because, like I mentioned, what's happening in the shop. And so it's just, I went to go pull the cover this morning and I'm like, man, we just got to kind of film and document it. I mean, the truck is, look at it. It's an absolute disaster. The dust, the cover, you know, we have a few other vehicles out here. And this, we had it was like a hurricane storm. And this thing, this cover just completely ripped apart. But this truck, it's like I told you guys, this is such an iconic truck. And Forza, literally, we have over 1 million people driving this truck a month. So all you guys watching that might, you know, drive this in Forza, you definitely drive it more than me. I have yet to drive this truck for probably about 3 years. It was dead when we brought it out here, but this truck was fired up, I would say probably 1.5 years ago. So I got a lot to do to kind of go through and make sure everything is okay. You know, hopefully nothing crazy's happened to it. It looks like it's just really dusty and dirty and very unfortunate. So let's get into this thing. Let me make sure there hasn't been any rats or anything. I mean, look at this. Poor little guy.
Poor little guy.
Oh.
How is this still pretty clean, honestly?
Well, it was covered most of the time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was covered. It just, that last wind that ripped through just kind of got crazy. This is the OG truck. This is the oldest truck we have at our shop still. And one of the ones I held on to because of how much meaning it has. I don't drive very well. We'll mess with that later. But anyway, let's see. I know it's not gonna fire up. Again, at the time, when Ken Block was live, he didn't have his drift truck. There wasn't like any drift trucks I seen out there. And so that's why when we did a truck, oh, we got power. That's why when we did a truck, I'm like, dude, this will be sick. No one's done it type thing. All right, let's see what we got. Oh no. That was definitely the starter that engaged and then the power shut off, so I'm pretty sure it's still engaged. We might have to just forklift this in, but let's get inside.
What's your plan here, bud?
My plan is I know the battery voltage is super low, so it's probably a dead cell in that battery. So I think what I do is just kind of hook onto it and get it in the shop. And I want to go through and just really, I need to go through this entire truck. Fluids, do a nut and bolt check. The fuel, hopefully the fuel's fine. This truck takes 118 octane, which is a very pure high octane. So I think that the fuel's gonna be okay. We'll know the second we fire it up. And then other than that, make sure everything works, brakes, check everything, and
add some air in the tire.
Put some air in that tire. I would like to go drive it around first. I mean, this thing needs kind of re-broken in, and then just come back to the ranch and have some fun with it. We have yet to do any like crazy burnouts or really like anything like that. So I think that would be an ideal situation, and that's if everything pans out. Poor little truck.
Aw.
How sad. Oh!
Oh! Yeah, you're good. Thanks for coming. What do you think it's gonna look like under there?
I don't know what it's gonna look like underneath, because it's been so long that I've actually prepped this truck, but I really wanted to build this truck so it was simple. So there's really not like a crazy amount of electronics. Like for example, the transmission, which you guys are gonna like, the trans, beautiful. It's a full sequential 6-speed. I think there's like 4 wires going to it. So it's like, there isn't a lot of electronics in this truck, which I love. So I don't know what it's gonna look like underneath. Oh, dialed.
Send her out, bud.
Let's give her a full send.
Falls off the lift.
Yeah, it's all good. The lift hasn't been used in a long time either. A lot of time and effort went into building this truck. A lot. I think that there could be some really cool things coming up as far as completely redoing this whole truck, giving it a new life. Like I'm talking looks, possibly performance, everything like that. My biggest, most importance today is just getting this thing running, getting it to where it could go shred again, making sure everything looks good. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Oh my gosh, the amount of time that we put into this truck. Look at how beautiful this transmission is.
Oh my gosh.
So a company called RTS makes this, and the entire housing is fully machined out of aluminum. The whole thing. It's a bad boy. Look at all these cobwebs.
You got so many spider webs right here.
This truck has electric power steering, which is pretty cool. This is actually out of an 06 Mustang. This whole subframe right here is actually a Mustang subframe. But you can see these are all our crush zones. So this is 1-inch chromoly, and then this is another crush zone of just steel. And then we actually utilize the factory front bumper because that's another crush zone. So like if I hit a wall, there's like 7 inches of crush before it actually starts destroying the frame and other things. But yeah, let's just do a bolt check. Let me grab some wrenches and let's just see what we could find wrong with this bad boy. So as you can see, some of these are loose. What I like to do is every single bolt has a torque spec. And what happens is when you take a electric impact and just run a bolt on until it's tight, if you over tighten the bolt, it actually stretches the bolt, and that's what breaks bolts in half. So everything on this entire truck, all this is all 100% grade 8. Some of it's even aircraft grade, which is stronger, but I torque everything. So like for instance, I know this bolt, just from my experience, it's 102 foot-pounds. So I make sure and tighten it all, and then I'll go through. You could kind of look through the chassis, and when I built this right here, you can see when I torque something, I do a red line on it. It's just kind of a good peace of mind to know when you throw this thing on the lift, or if you're at the track and you just want to see make sure nothing's moved or anything like that, you can just go through and see the quick red mark, and it's just like a quick reference. Well, a lot of these I could tell that the red marks are actually backed off, and that tells me that over time when I drove this truck, it's loosened. So we're just gonna go through this entire truck, every bolt, and make sure everything is dialed in. So when we built this truck, we just wanted to do something completely different. So we did, as you could tell, is we actually have inboard rotors and brakes. So what that means is normally a rotor on a car would be like on the outside where the wheel is. A lot of times they're red, like for those of you that might not know what I'm talking about, but like usually the rotor and brake are on the outside. We put them on the inside. And normally the only reason why someone would do this is for a drag race application, to have a smaller wheel on the outside so they could have a taller tire. We did it for no reason at all. And it looks really cool. Wow. So the reasoning to do this on this truck, there was no reason. It was just to be kind of different and cool. And it looks actually really cool in Forza. So I'm glad that we went the route we did. But everything looks good. I do have a little leak right here. As you guys, I don't know if you could see in that camera here. That is rear end oil. It's a very thick oil that smells like sewer kind of. You can see this has a full carbon fiber drive shaft. Strongest drive shaft you could have on the market. You could tell last time I drove this, or whenever that was, that's just that's tire cord right there. That's from a BFG. We're gonna smell a lot of that here in a little bit. All in all, honestly, the truck I think is in incredible shape. As long as, you know, the fluids look fine, I'm gonna check the oil and the motor. That's my probably most scary part. As long as everything looks good, we should have no problem slaying this thing around town. But this is what makes this truck a drift truck, and this is what I love, is how far this wheel turns. That's what's crazy. That's 74 degrees. Why you have that much steering angle is like when you go and you handbrake and you kind of back the truck backwards, that steering angle, when you have that much steering, that's what'll keep you from like fully spinning out like this. So if you didn't have that much steering angle, you'd come in, you'd handbrake, you would turn, and once you're past the point of not enough steering, the only thing that'll save you is rear grip. But once that's gone, you're just looping. So that's why a lot of times, like in factory cars, when you go to try and drift it, it's hard because you don't have that steering. So this keeps it, which you'll see here in a little bit. But yeah, that's 74 degrees that's a lot. I almost think, and let me know what your thoughts are, but I almost think it would be really cool to take off all the old body style of this thing. Leave obviously the cab and like update it to all brand new 2024 look. That way it looks like a brand new truck. And obviously at that time, change the theme, maybe pull this wing off, put like a wing like the Tacoma on it, like just give this thing a new life. Because the bones of this truck, this is a bad truck. I mean, well, we're gonna find out how strong it is today. All right, so everything's good. I just want to go through and check. This is my oil overflow. It's probably empty, but oh gosh, that's definitely water.
Is that supposed to happen?
That's definitely water.
That's not supposed to have anything in it, and if anything, oil, right?
I mean, that's definitely not an ideal scenario. That's a catch can from my oil line directly off my motor. So yeah, I mean that's like 100% water, and it could just be, there is a filter on top. Can you see the filter? So
yeah.
It could just have gotten humidity in there. I mean, either way, let's just look at the positive side only. There actually isn't really a positive side, or no. I haven't ever seen that in one of my trucks. That's not a good scenario. This is interesting. So this right here, this is called an AccuSump. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's been a long time since I built this. Pretty sure this is called an AccuSump. Long story short, you have a small amount of pressure in this can, and you see this deal right here. So you have the pressure in there, and then when you go to fire your motor, you do this, and it actually primes all the oil through the motor, and it actually builds oil pressure, so you never have anything dry. Of course, I left it open, so it's not going to do anything. But it's kind of like a cheap way of kind of like having a dry sump. It helps a lot for like if you pull a lot of G-load sideways, so you never have like it's just constant oil through the whole motor at all times. It just keeps it all pressured. Let's check everything else. Yeah, I mean that appears Look at all the headers. All that coating's peeling off. Race car maintenance, that's all this is. Oil level is fine. Let me pull out the battery and let's test the voltage on the battery to see if we could try and figure something else out. Alright, well, yeah, it's definitely heavy. So, this battery is toast. How do I know that? It's telling me it's 7, almost 8 volts. I've put the charger on it at 225 amp for 30 minutes because a lot of these batteries like this, these deep cycles, you gotta kind of shock and then charge. So the whole time I've been working on the truck, I've had it plugged in and it hasn't changed. So there's probably a dead cell in there. So now we gotta figure out another battery around the shop. But those battery cables are super short, so I kind of need a side post. But I know the forklift has a battery like this, so let's see if I could maybe steal that one and at least get going. All right, thank you, bye. So I don't have another one of these batteries. I have a yellow top, but it doesn't have these side posts, and that's what I need. So my pops is gonna get one. So I think really everything else is pretty dialed in. We gotta make sure obviously it runs. But when my dad brings it back, we'll fire it up. For now, let's just get this thing outside. I gotta wash it, make her look brand new, maybe throw a little tire shine on these PFGs and get her on the road.
What you got for us, Dougie?
$350.
What?
Yeah.
Technically, we're a Tesla now. We're just installing this battery. All I gotta do, we'll charge it up, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is, this has not been fired up in a long time. I'm gonna leave like everything off, basically, and just turn the starter, probably like, I'll do like a few intervals of it just to try and build oil pressure, at least until I could see it, just because it's been so long since this thing's been fired up. So this is my oil pressure gauge here. One more time. Okay, so I'm happy with at least having the oil pressure. I do that on everything. And again, if I would have pulled that little valve, it would have already been built, but fire in the hole. Pounds of oil pressure at idle, that's pretty good. is a beast.
You know what I like about this truck? It just fires up and runs like a raped ape.
I mean, it hasn't been started in 3 years.
No, has it been that long?
Yeah.
Since 21. The last time this truck was drove, I was showing you how to drift in it.
Yeah. Dude. Hey, this thing, I forget that because it's tuned to be like straight performance, like on throttle. There's so much unburned fuel popping. Like when you get going, it's like, whoa, you let off, it's all pop, 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 pop. People are like, what's going on?
That's it, dude. It looks so good rolling.
Does it?
Yes.
Hey, there was so many people that were like amped about it.
Oh yeah.
I think it's because people know. Oh, I gotta be careful. People know this truck. I think a lot from Forza, so it's like when they see it rolling, they're like, what? I had all kinds of people being like, yeah.
That's so sick.
So let's grab a bite, but that made my whole month right there. Just driving easy with my dad, that was a blast. So Miller says he's got the shot. Did that feel so good?
Yeah, I just want to go to a track or something.
So my dad did say he is gonna drift after me.
No, not here.
You said that in the truck.
I know your steering wheel is here. It's hard for me to do the
Oh,
truck.
I don't want to. You drifted that truck on a track just as it is. He's
I
gonna
know,
drift
and I had a
after
hard
me.
time. I kept busting
Dad,
my elbows
you're
on
gonna
the door.
drift after me. So here we go. Dude,
I missed that. We got like 50 sets of tires upstairs. We need to go burn them.
that felt so good. Well, now is the time. I think, you know what, guys, I think I could put on a better show for you guys. That was a little deal out there on the street. But keep in mind, don't judge me too hard. It's been about 3 years since I put on a little show in that truck, so we're gonna.
Would you come on and drive?
My dad's driving next, so let me go slay the truck a little bit, and then you guys stay tuned because Pops is going next. We're not gonna make it a competition or nothing. It's just gonna be a fun time.
Well, yeah,
So let's go jump. Let's go drive
today.
this thing. Huh? All right, boys. It's been a long time. We're gonna wake her up right now. It's so easy to drive.
Tires are gone.
Oh, his excuse are the tires are gone. They are gone. Gosh, that was great. Was that great?
God, I missed that so much. We need to put a course here.
We gotta put a course.
Let's go next Thursday. Even if we just take this truck and about 50 tires.
Let's walk over here so you guys can hear. I gotta leave the truck running. It only got to about 205. You guys, reviving this truck, might have been one of my favorite episodes, literally to this day, because the enjoyment that I just enjoyed with my dad, that was just so much fun. I don't know, we've been talking, we're like, hey, let's go rent a track, let's go have some fun. So I think the next truck we got to revive, which is in dire need.
It's gonna be me drifting first. I get the first set of tires.
The next truck we got to revive, as many of you guys probably know also from Forza, it's called the performance truck. The Toyota Tacoma with the NASCAR Cup car motor, 10,000 RPM, that thing's just crazy. We'll bring both trucks. We gotta get them both ready. We're gonna go maybe rent a track. Maybe we can get some friends in together. If anyone's watching and wanna go in on a track so it's not so expensive for us, we're gonna just go have fun. But oh my gosh, that was so much fun. You guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to see the footage from the sky. So let's go ahead and end with that.